Hello guys, welcome to Coderuck. Hope you are doing great. Today we will learn useReducer hook in React. So let's get started. useReducer hook in React is a more advanced alternative to useState hook for managing state in functional component. As we know, React provides us useState hook. In this useState, we can store our data, and once the data gets stored, we can able to access that stored data. But why there is need of useReducer hook? Because useReducer hook is more advanced alternative to useState hook. That's why it is available in React. It is particularly useful when next state depend on the previous state and when state logic become more complex. So when we want to deal with less complex state, at that time we will use useState hook. When the state get more complex and it is more dependable upon previous state, so in that case we will go with useReducer hook. The useReducer hook is often used with dispatch action to update the state based on action. We will talk about the syntax part as well. Now if we talk about the syntax part, it will be const, and inside that one state it will have dispatch, and after that use useReducer. It will have this reducer and some initial state. Now we will talk about each and every variable which we have defined. At first, this state is the current state is equal to current state. Okay, this dispatch is a function to trigger state update. Okay, so that means this is the current state, this one is dispatch is a function to trigger any state update. After that we have this reducer. Reducer is basically nothing else a function that defines how state transition from one state to the next based on action. Okay, so this reducer is a function that defines how state transition from one state to the next based on action which will be taking place. And after that, this initial state is nothing as the initial state of the component. So it will be initial state of the component. Okay, so this is what the total syntax look like. Now we'll see the live and work example of useReducer hook. So at first, what we will do, we will call useReducer hook, or we can say we will import that one. Import useReducer, and after that you can see we have to define one reducer function. So that's we are defining right now. Const reducer. Okay, it will be state because it hold two variables, state and action. Okay, and we are making use of switch case action dot type. If the case is increment, then it will return count is equal to state dot count plus 1, and step will be state dot step. Okay, now again we will copy that same. It will be decrement d c, and here we will do -1. Okay, and this one is, here we will not perform any action on that one. Action dot payload. Okay, this is the initial reducer function which we have defined right now, and in case of default, what we will do, we just return state. Okay, after that one, we will define some initial state. So for that one, const initial state, and it will be count as 0. Okay, step as 1, and after that const state dispatch use reducer, and in use reducer we will call our reducer function, and this will be our initial state. Sorry, I have defined inside return, it will not be inside return, and it will be outside of our functional component. Okay, so this is how it look like. Now sorry, we want to call that same data in our JSX, so I'm calling count it will be our state dot count. Okay, and step will be, I'm just copying this same step. Okay, now we will take two buttons, because in these two buttons we will perform increment and decrement. On click, and what we are doing, we are calling dispatch function, and dispatch function, what we are doing, we create an object and here we will pass type will be same as increment. It has to match with this same what we have defined. Okay, and I will name is increment, and I will copy this one. It has to match with same decrement, and this will be set tab. Okay, now we will take one input, input type number, input type number, and value will be state.tab. Okay, and here we will write on change, it will be our e, and after that we will call dispatch with same, and it will be set tab, and the payload we will pass first int e dot target dot value 10. Okay, now if I save this one and if I see the output, if I refresh this one, the count is 0, step is 1. If I increment this one, you can see we are getting count 1 2 3, it is getting incremented. If we decrement this one, it will get decrement. Okay, now if I enter step 12, okay, now if I increment this one, it will get increment. If I decrement this one, and whatever in the input box, it is getting quite large. So if I now it will be small bit. Okay, and buttons also I will put it inside div. Okay, now if I refresh this one, initially it is getting increment. Okay, it is getting decremented. Now whatever input we will give, it will get on step. So if I write like 100, step will be 100. So here what we are doing, we are managing complex state logic with increment, with decrement, and whatever value we are giving as step, it is getting rendered in case of JSX. And this is the same thing we can able to achieve using reuse reducer hook. But even if we try to make with use state hook, this will become more complex and unable to manage this whole scenario. And that's why useReducer can make your code more organized and easy to maintain, especially when dealing with more complex state management scenarios. I hope this video make more clear how you can make use of useReducer hook. I hope you like this video. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Thank you all.